Hello and welcome everyone to the Shaymin reaction, and tonight we're doing Money in the Bank. It just got over just a couple of minutes ago, and it was pretty sweet. Let's just start from the top though. We kicked off the Money in the Bank pay-per-view with a couple of pre-show matches that I didn't watch, nor do I plan to. Two tag team matches. I saw some of the highlights from the Golden Truth match at least, and it didn't look like it was anything but kind of a joke match, so I don't really care. I don't really think it matters. I think we all knew Golden Truth was probably going to win that match, and then with this whole sunburn, whatever you want to call it, and then the Lucha Dragons and the Dudleys, I don't know who won, but my best guess is the Lucha Dragons won because, I mean, you know, the faces usually win these type of matches. Anyway, so we start off with the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, which is one of the, of course, 4 matches that I was really looking forward to, like, more than anything else. And we kick things off. Enzo and Cash do their stick, and then the Vaudevillains come out. The Vaudevillains look really nice. I like their outfits that they have on for pay-per-views. That's kind of a cool thing that they did, in my opinion. Then the Club come out, and the New Day enters last. Interesting, holding up tradition for a couple of these matches. Not so much the Rusev and Titus match. But anyway, so this match was a letdown for me. I was expecting it to be a good match. I had a lot of hopes riding on it, but it was really sloppy. There were a couple of good spots. Granted, it wasn't a bad match necessarily, but it was a sloppy match. There were a lot of delayed reactions. There was a referee that counted to 3, and they just ignored it because Luke Gallows messed up big time. He did that a couple of times in this match, which, you know, we didn't see a lot from him when he was here the first time with the Straight Edge Society, so I don't really think, well, not the first time, but we haven't seen much development from him in WWE, and to be honest with you, it just continued to show here tonight as the New Day retains, which I was surprised about. I honestly thought they were going to go with the Gallows and Anderson taking home the titles for the Club. But to be honest, after watching that match, I really don't believe Anderson and Gallows deserve to be tag team champions for the time being. They need a lot more development in the ring before I can feel like they deserve a tag team championship run. I personally don't think that should happen in the near future. Enzo and Cass and the Vaudevillains were both really good. The New Day, obviously, they're always good in what they do, but there were some sloppy times there for many of the superstars that were in this match. So I was really disappointed, to be honest with you. I had such high expectations. Maybe that was my own fault. Maybe, you know, all the hype from everybody else and from the WWE itself got me too overwhelmed in thinking that this was going to be awesome, but it kind of let me down. Then we get a backstage segment with Owens, Jericho, and Del Rio. Owens just continues to be amazing at what he does. And then we get Baron Corbin versus Dolph Ziggler, 10 million. I was only half paying attention. You know, I had the NBA Finals going on my computer. I had my Apple TV hooked up to the WWE Network watching Money in the Bank. And that match I just could not really get interested in. I mean, I looked up quite a few times. One of the things that I found funny is that Michael Cole said this rivalry has been just escalating ever since the day after WrestleMania. And I was like, so why are they feuding again for this long? Like, I've stopped caring a month and a half ago at least. Like, please cut this off. So Baron Corbin wins with the End of Days, which, by the way, is one of my favorite finishing moves in the WWE right now. I think it looks awesome. Then we move on, Charlotte and Dana Brooke versus Natalya and Becky Lynch, which was a pretty decent match, but another ending, another, wiggle their way out type of thing. And honestly, this match continues to not showcase the women's division very well at all. So it wasn't that great. And then Natalya's heel turn, I was not expecting that at all. Which, in my opinion, the unexpected is welcome. So I thought that was really cool, and Natalya as a heel is something I'm very interested in. Perhaps Natalya versus Becky Lynch at Battleground, kind of a non-title rivalry feud for Battleground that's outside of the women's championship. We can showcase a couple of more women in the division. Let's just hope. Then we got Dean Ambrose backstage. Says this practically a summary of what happened on Raw. And we get Sheamus versus Apollo Crews, which was a pretty decent match. We're going to get to see a little bit more of them, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with 2 matches on a pay-per-view. Or not a pay-per-view, but 2 pay-per-view matches back-to-back. But once you get to 3 or more, like this Ambrose and Ziggler and Corbin thing, no. But Apollo Crews wins with the roll-up. It was a weak finish after a pretty decent match. But it's understandable in order to continue this rivalry and continue the whole Sheamus versus Apollo Crews thing. So I'm okay with that. And then we get one of the dream matches, John Cena versus AJ Styles. And as AJ Styles' music hit and the crowd was going crazy, I legit got goosebumps all over my arms. Oh man, I have been waiting for this for a while, and I was hoping that this was going to be something that happened. In fact, it happened a lot sooner than I was expecting, but that's totally fine with me. So I really liked the beginning of the match, the kind of taunt back and forth, trying to showcase AJ Styles as the better wrestler, and it worked to perfection. And then Styles, natural and gifted trash talker, maybe not on Owens' level, but he's very good at it. It comes really naturally. The counter that he had into the powerbomb was pretty damn impressive. And then at the end, the club interferes with the Magic Killer. Styles gets the win. It's funny. Many times during this match, I got flashbacks to the first time Owens and Cena fought each other. I'm just hoping that Cena doesn't win the next 2 matches with them. That's one of the things that I'm totally okay if they build a big-time feud between 2 superstars and have it go for 3 pay-per-views. Not more than 3. 3 is the max for sure. But I just don't want it to end like the Owens and Cena feud did. Not that Owens ended up getting buried in any way. It showcased his talent. He did really good, but I just really hope that, it's not Cena wins and then Cena wins all. So then we get the Money in the Bank ladder match, which was pretty amazing. Not necessarily the best ladder match ever, but it was really, really good. I love Kevin Owens' heelishness. It's just so great when he sets Sami Zayn up and he acts like he's going to run up to the ladder, and then he stops at the front of the ladder and then does the super kick. It's absolutely terrific. The whole set where Cesaro did all the uppercuts, and then Kevin Owens comes in and does all the rolling sentons into the corner. That was pretty damn awesome. Alberto Del Rio doing his finishing move on the ladder looked pretty sweet. It kind of messed it up a little bit, but Cesaro getting back up so quickly kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But the cross arm breaker that happened on the ladder was pretty cool. And then the Cesaro swing, where the second Cesaro swing where he stopped at 5 and then just tossed him into the ladder was pretty sweet. And then, Ambrose won. Ambrose won Money in the Bank. And I just remember, immediately after Ambrose won the Money in the Bank, on Facebook, I posted not on my Grandmaster Shaymin page, but on my personal page. I said, I hope Ambrose cashes in. Reigns versus Rollins versus Ambrose, anyone? Question mark, exclamation point. That's what I said. That's what I was hoping for. Here's something that, for me, really quick. Ambrose has really grown on me lately. Because ever since, like, slightly before WrestleMania, they've actually been building his character as a lunatic. And they've been doing a really, really good job at it, in my opinion. They've really built his character, so I really think that that's a great thing that they've been doing, and it just made me like Ambrose even more than I did originally. Then we get Rusev versus Titus, kind of a squash match. Rusev wins, and Titus, Rusev just continuing to get over as a heel, just taunting Titus's sons. Pretty great deal there. Then the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and I liked this match a lot. In fact, it was my second favorite match of the night behind the Styles and Cena match, and then Money in the Bank, in my opinion, comes third to these two matches. Reigns and Rollins put on a show, and let me tell you something. Over the last number of weeks, Reigns has kind of grown on me in the ring. Not on the mic by any means. He is still terrible at that. But in the ring, he's continued to get better, and he's continued to not have to get carried by his opponent. And I really thought that he did a pretty decent job in this match. And my favorite spot in the match, though, there's plenty of great ones, but Rollins countering the spear into the pedigree was absolutely terrific. And Seth won the match. And at that point, I was going crazy. I was like, Seth, two-time champion. This is awesome. And then Ambrose's music hit. And I was freaking out even more because this is something that I wanted to have happen. I've been wanting a triple threat with the Shield, and I was hoping Battleground was going to be the case. I am super excited as Dean cashes in, wins the WWE World Heavyweight title for the very first time in his career, and perhaps a couple of more later on in his career as well. So this was a really, really solid pay-per-view. I think it lived up to the hype. The only match that I was really disappointed in was that Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match. I mean, there was a couple of throwaway matches, but all in all, the matches that really lived up to the hype did it really well, and I was pleasantly surprised by the pay-per-view as a whole. So, let me know your thoughts on this pay-per-view in the comment section down below. And, of course, if you are excited for future content, if you want to hear what my thoughts are tomorrow night on Monday Night Raw, I'll post those right after I watch Raw. Just click that subscribe button, click that thumbs up button if you like this video, and we'll see you next time on the next Shaymin Reaction.